Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines and Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Sara Z. Duterte. Sa puntong ito, maririnig natin ang mensahe mula kay PGM Wick Veloso.
Maginawang araw po sa ating lahat. Binabati po natin ang ating Vice Presidente at Secretary of Education Sara Duterte. Our GSIS board, led by our chairman, Rodolfo Del Rosario Jr., executives and officers of the Department of Education, led by USEC Mike Poa, my colleagues in GSIS, colleagues in government, friends from the media, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ang customer experience between GSIS and its constituents have always been in place for the longest period of time. But today we're here primarily because the customer experience that GSIS should be able to extend to our teachers, specifically to the Department of Education, is something that we would like to highlight. Madam Secretary and Vice President, gusto ko pong ipaalam sa inyo na meron pong special lane ang atin pong mga guro sa GSIS. Ngunit, dadagdagan pa po namin ito. Hindi lamang po yung ating dating lane, ngunit we are going to make sure that we have special lanes. Kami nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga service providers na para pag nakatawag at may problema ng ating mga guro ay may atnubay. Ngunit wala pa rin hong tatalo sa amin pong inatasan na mga account officers that will be visiting your schools and the public schools teachers and the government employees of the education department para po masagot lahat ng katanungan. Ako po ay naniniwala na walang tatalo pa rin sa isang tao na nakikipag-usap at nagbibigay ng paliwanag at binibigyan ng comfort ang atin pong mga may katanungan para po masagot ang kanilang pong mga pangangailangan. At a year and 1 month ago, when our Vice President confirmed my appointment at their office in the Department of Education, isa po sa amin pong napag-usapan ang kalagayan po ng ating mga guro at paano po natin matutulungan ang ating mga guro, lalo na po yung mga nangangailangan ng pera in times of emergency. And with that instruction on how to best alleviate the plights of the teachers, we in GSIS immediately put things into action. With the help of our trustees, we visited school superintendents in their respective areas and tried to understand how does our product sound like? How do our process and procedures working for the benefit of the teachers? At ito po ay amin pong pinagsama-sama at nagkaroon po kami ng bagong produktong tinatawag natin pong multi-purpose loan flex. Sa pagkakataon pong ito, ang isa pong Kawani ng gobyerno, hindi lang po ang ating mga guro, magkakaroon ng pagkakataon makahiram ng mas mababang interest rate ng 6%. Sapagkat kami naniniwala na ang inyo pong kontribusyon sa gobyerno, lalo na ng mga guro, ay hindi po dapat natin itong pagkakakitaan ng sagad-sagad at maibigay na may sustain natin ang pondo at the same time help them. We've extended the term structure to allow them to be able to pay longer, up to 10 years, para mababa at hindi po mabigat sa bulsa ng atin pong mga guro. At hindi lamang po iyon, ay amin pong itinaas ang maaring mautang up to 5 million subject to the net take-home pay and credit standards. Kung tatanungin po ninyo, hindi lamang po ito ay isang pautang. Nais ko pong ipaliwanag ano po ang gustong ipamahagi ng GSIS sa bagong multipurpose loan program. It is not enough that we allow them access to money to be able to help them address their emergency needs. But it is incumbent upon us to be able to help the teachers have an extra source of income and use this to start businesses with their loved ones running it. We're speaking to other private entities that will allow us to be able to convert a sari-sari store into a business that allows accounting, allows inventory management, that allows proper marketing to be given as a benefit in partnership with one of those businesses that we cover. Yan po yung Merrimart. Sinabi po sa halagang 200,000, 288. Pag kayo nakautang, sila na po tutulungan kayo inventaryo, itutulong kayo sa marketing, tutulong. Ang trabaho po namin ay mailapit po ito. Wala na hong pagkakataon ng ating mga guro sapagkat sa umaga pa lang pagtilaok ng manok hanggang magdilim ay naroon na sa eskwelahan, wala na silang pagkakataon maghanap pa ng pagkakakitaan. Ang kanilang pamilyang natitira sa bahay ngayon ay magkakaroon ng pagkakataon na kumita at mabigyan additional income. We've also been looking at other businesses that will allow them to do so. And hopefully we can get to provide more details as they come in and we get to onboard the business. Sa bagong Pilipinas, kung may 4Ps, ang 4Ps po ng inyo pong GSIS ay unang-una po, sinisigurado po natin ang pabahay. I've always, together with the rest of your board, maintained that the basic human right is the right to vote, but I will also add that the decency of owning your own house is something that we would like to provide. In GSIS, lahat po ng may pagkakautang, lahat po ng mga guro, gusto ko po marinig po ninyo, yung nagkaroon kayo ng problema, nung pagkakataon na nagkaroon kayo ng sakuna, we're extending the loan condonation program up to 2025 para maayos po ninyo ang inyo pong mga accounts. We are now having those 15,000 properties of the GSIS foreclosed in the longest time to be able to be acquired by teachers and other government employees without a down payment. Kami po sa aming pagpunta at paglapit sa mga superintendent, school superintendent, sa mga guro, sinasabi, meron nga ho kayong pabahay, hindi ho namin ma-afford. So we listened and we came up with a program that allows you to be able to have a roof over your head with a lease with option to buy. Na wala na ho kayong down payment sapagkat ito po ang napakabigat na kailangang mailabas sa bulsa. At kami po ay magsisimulang magpagawa ng pabahay. Magsisimula po tayo sa Quezon City, sa may Fairview at isa po sa may Cugeo. GSIS properties that will allow a decent housing. Ang aming pong sistema dahil pong mahigit 51% ang miyembro po ng ating government service dito po sa ating mga guro po ay mahigit 51%, ay sila po ay magkakaroon din ng mas malaking alokasyon para masigurado na lahat na kawani ng gobyerno magkaroon ng tinatawag nating pabahay at hindi lang pong pabahay, it should be a decent housing that will allow them to have the dignity of being able to have their own home. Another source of problems that our government employees, especially our teachers, get to face is if they get sick. Over and above PhilHealth, ay dyan po sila nagkakaroon ng problema at nagkakasimulang magkautang-utang. Kami po sa GSIS ngayon ay naghahanap ng solusyon and putting together a program that allows us to be able to provide medical insurance over and above PhilHealth. At pag nagkaroon ng sakit, ang pamilya ng guro dati, mga guro, ang kanila na lang pong ipagdasal ay gumaling at hindi na po nila problemahin kung papaano makakalabas sa ospital at magbabayar mga pagkakautang na ito. There are a lot of things that we still have to work on. But we are very confident that customer experience, it's not just about service, but it is about giving decency to public service, giving the right or what is due to our public school teachers who have been there giving education to the rest of the Filipino people. And under the leadership of our Secretary of Education and Vice President, we are confident that constant interaction with your team will allow us to deliver the promise of a better life, not only for the teachers, but also for the rest of the Filipinos. An educated country will not only bring glory to the Philippines, but bring us out of this vicious cycle of economic misery that we've always been facing. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, PGM Wick. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines and Secretary of the Department of Education, Honorable Sara Z. Duterte.
Please take your seats. Maraming salamat. Mga kababayan, ladies and gentlemen, assalamualaikum. Madayaw, maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Unahin ko po muna ang aking mga pagpapasalamat. Nagpapasalamat po ako sa atin pong board, sa atin pong chairman, sa kanila pong panahon at sa inyong lahat ngayong araw na ito sa panahon ninyo. Para po sa ating mga guro, it is very timely because we are celebrating the National Teachers Month leading up to the World Teachers Day on October 5. And on behalf of all the teachers and of course the non-teaching personnel of the Department of Education, we are truly happy that we were able to finalize the MOA for ultimate customer experience for our teaching and non-teaching personnel. Alam niyo po, kapag kami ay umiikot, noon pong July kami nagsimula umikot sa mga schools, natawag namin yon na mga school visits. Dalawa po yung ginagawa namin. Unang-una, kinakausap ko yung principal, and then we have an assistant secretary who comes with me, and siya yung nakikipag-usap sa aming mga guro. So, hinahayaan namin sila mag-ventilate, magsabi kung ano yung mga problema nila, ano yung mga pangangailangan nila, and what makes them happy as well, both negative and positive, yung ini-elicit namin sa kanila. And nakita namin doon sa tali ng mga paaralan na nabisita namin, nasa top 2 lagi ang GSIS complaint. Nadidislodge lang talaga ang GSIS complaint sa rank 1 kapag lumalabas yung usapan about performance-based bonus na I think it's 3 years or 2 years delayed ang PBB. Yun lang ang nakakaalis sa number 1 ranking ng GSIS complaint. Otherwise, all the rest ng mga complaints nila, paiba-iba na. Depende sa lugar at depende sa kultura ng lugar. So, paiba-iba na yung kanilang mga ano. Pero it's one thing common doon sa aming dialogue with teachers. And masaya ako dahil kanina, while our chairman was speaking, he said, and we listened. So, nung sinabi niya, we listened, hindi na ako nakinig sa buong speech niya kasi yun lang yung importante sa kanya. We listened. Kasi kami naman po, ang magagawa lang namin ay makipag-dialogue ng makipag-dialogue sa GSIS. And ultimately, it will be the GSIS decisions and actions that will make a difference doon sa customer experience and sa mga reklamo ng ating mga teachers and non-teaching personnel. So maraming salamat. Pwede niyo na pong palitan ang tagline nyo, we'll listen. GSIS will listen. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. We cannot overstate the importance of our gathering today, especially for government teachers and employees of the Department of Education. This gathering, happening while we are observing National Teachers Month, is the culmination of the efforts that the Department of Education initiated with the hindi naman siguro ito culmination, no? Hindi. Oo. This is a continuing effort in our partnership with the GSIS to address the concerns of our employees. This Memorandum of Agreement confirms our commitment to provide solutions to the concerns of our employees and to move forward with a renewed and stronger institutional collaboration anchored on our shared objective to best serve Filipinos and our country. Some of the concerns of DepEd employees with GSIS are older than our employees' children. Matagal na po talaga yung paulit-ulit nila na tanong at mga reklamo. At napansin namin, marami sa kanilang mga tanong at mga concerns ay nasasagot naman kaagad. Kulang lang siguro tayo nung paglapit doon sa sagot sa mga teachers na nagtatanong. Kaya po kami nag-request na kung merong dedicated hotline kung saan nasasagot yung mga tanong nila sa pagtatawag lamang. And for many years, despite efforts to address these issues, they continue to be one of the top complaints of DepEd employees. Financial security, among many others, is a source of anxiety for our teachers and our employees. And today, we take steps to unburden our employees from emotional distress. Papasalamat po kami sa mahabang repayment period, and sa mababang interest. This is one of the matters that I acted with urgency immediately after taking the position of Secretary of DepEd last year. I raised this with GSIS President and General Manager Jose Arnulfo Veloso in September 2022 during his oath-taking. Masaya naman tayo sa kanyang ipinakitang kahandaan na pag-aaralan ang mga issue na ito. This Memorandum of Agreement highlights our mutual recognition of teachers as our nation builders. These are the initial steps towards facilitating easier and more direct access to GSIS services for teachers and other DepEd personnel. First is GSIS is establishing express lanes exclusively for teachers and other DepEd personnel at its central office and its regional branches nationwide. This is particularly useful for teachers assigned to rural or geographical GIDA areas who must travel for hours just to reach the nearest GSIS branch office. Second, GSIS will look into adding a DepEd personnel-specific option to their hotline. Third, GSIS will designate account officers exclusively working on DepEd issues. DepEd personnel compose more than half of the entire GSIS membership. That is why we are really passionate about pursuing dialogues and coming up with solutions to the problems that we see in our school level. Having a dedicated team of account officers will minimize the time needed to reconcile accounts and speed up the process of addressing premium-related discrepancies and loan-related issues. Lastly, GSIS has committed to hosting an annual dialogue. Ito po, napakalaking tulong po ito kahit once a year lang between its branches and the counterpart DepEd regional offices and schools division offices to discuss and address GSIS service concerns. Alam niyo po, meron po kaming code ng mga teachers sa GSIS. Kapag kami po ay nagdi-discuss ng GSIS and syempre lumalabas na yung mga hinanakit, ang tawag namin sa GSIS ay SISG para binaliktad namin yung GSIS. And then sabi ko sa kanila na mamaya na natin yan ibalik sa totoo niyang acronym kapag nasagot na nila kung ano yung mga kailangan natin na mga solusyon. For DepEd, the promotion of welfare and the protection of our employees' rights are paramount. Let us continue working together to help reduce the financial challenges of our employees, to our services, and of course, through the leadership of GSIS. Alam natin ang mahalagang papel ng mga guro at iba pang kawani ng DepEd sa ating bayan. They practically hold the future in our hands, the future of our country in their hands. Ang pagtulong natin sa mga nasa sektor ng edukasyon ay pagtulong natin sa mga kabataang Pilipino at sa ating bayan. We are looking forward to the partnership, as the one mentioned by our President, yung accident insurance and of course yung medical insurance on top of PhilHealth. So we hope to see that come into fruition in the coming year or two para po sa ating mga teaching and non-teaching personnel ng Department of Education. Mga kababayan, patuloy po tayo maging matatag para sa pagtaguyod ng isang bansang makabata at mga batang makabansa. Ang lahat po ng ginagawa natin ay para sa Diyos, sa bayan at sa pamilyang Pilipino. Syukran.
Thank you, ma'am, for your message. Palakpakan po natin, Vice